episode of the Cash Compound Podcast, we're going to have a conversation about ordinary life. What is it? What does it do? Coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, JDew and Jonah here of the Cash Compound at the Banking Bros, chatting a little bit today about the traditional old stuff, whole life insurance, and how boring it is. But of course, Jonah, how great it works. I'm excited today because we ran into a situation that's going to allow us to kind of take a historic look at what whole life insurance can do for a family.
Yeah, we have access to a policy document here from a policy that's actually still active.
Yes.
And that started back in 1951. 1951. So it's 71 years old.
Is that the 71?
Policy issue date, June 9, 1951.
1951. So we are back before, let's think about 1951 here. We are going back before Back to the Future. What year did they go back to?
They went back to 89. No, they didn't. They came out and they went back to
November 5th.
Yeah, 1969. I don't know. I don't remember.
1955.
55.
So this is 4 years before that. They were, of course, in Hill Valley, California.
That's right.
But where's this coming from?
Twin Pines Mall.
It was Lone Pine Mall at that time. Lone Pine.
That's after he went back and
that's
hit
true.
the tree.
It was Twin Pines, and then it became Lone Pine.
There it is.
Okay.
At least I knew that. This policy, we only have a policy statement document, which we'll more than likely put up on the screen here shortly when we talk about some of the values. But so what we can see is that the owner of the policy lives in Illinois.
Yes,
that's what we can see.
Okay. So I mentioned in the kind of the promo here in the teaser that ordinary life is a term that's not used anymore. But what is ordinary life and whole life insurance? What we normally talk about. What do they have in common, Jonah?
Well, to my knowledge, they're the same thing. Actually, they just kind of started calling it a little. They switched from ordinary life and started calling it whole life. And I'm not sure when they did that. But obviously after 1951. Right. Well, I think a lot of the reason there, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, is because life insurance products were not nearly as diverse at that time. So now a lot of folks talk about different categories of permanent insurance. Whole life is a form of permanent insurance, but it's the original form. And now there's all these other types of policies like universal. And there's divisions and variations of universal life. And of course, there's term insurance. That's right. Now, term insurance that's really, 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 really old too. But ordinary life goes back to, in North America, I believe ordinary life, whole life insurance goes back to, what would you say? I think it's about 1850. Yeah, it's really old. It's definitely in the 1800s. I know that it's not 1880 or 1870. So before that. That's what I know. Now, I think there were forms of it that worked a little bit differently. And like I said, term is super old, too. So I think you can actually find it in the 18th century in certain places. I don't think you can find it in North America. I think in England you can find it somewhere in the UK. I think you can find it actually in the 18th century. But anyway, we're not getting into the details of the history on this episode. So Jonah, let's give him a little background. What happened to us here is we bumped into a fellow practitioner of infinite banking about a month ago, summer 2022, and he started to say a few things about his family policy here. So this guy, we'll look forward to having him on the show soon. We became friends with this dude, and he shared this with us, but we're going to protect the wealthy. We're going to protect the wealthy, so we're not going to tell you who it is quite yet, but this policy is a policy that his father still owns. That's right. And so I'm guessing his great-grandpa or something, or great-grandma, somebody bought it on his dad as a child, I assume. That's right. In 1951. So we should start with the premium, right? Okay. 1951, how much were they paying for this ordinary life, now called whole life, insurance policy? How much were they paying? Well, we always tell people that, we start folks at a certain threshold. Maybe if they're thinking, let's just get started, dip their toe in the water, maybe $500 per month. Now, this one is... What is the premium? The premium's $48.72 a year. Okay. So I did some quick math. I've got my machine up here, and I just divided that by 12. $4.06 a month.
$4.06 a month. Got it.
Now, again, this is 71 years ago, so you can't do policies for $4.06 a month now.
What do you think is the lowest you could possibly do, though? I mean, obviously not for banking, but like this was just...
I don't know. But $4.06 is what this policy was per month, $48.72 each year. That's what the policy premium was.
Yep.
So again, back in 1951, that
may have got you a burial.
Yeah. Right? That might have been,
the burial insurance, right? Folks weren't thinking about utilizing probably the cash value streams at all from this. And that's where we're going on a podcast like this. But they had to make sure they were covered.
So stay tuned, because the cash value number, you're going to be shocked at these cash value numbers. But let's talk about the death benefit. So $4.06 a month, $48 a year. How much death benefit? Which was probably
plenty of money for this family.
Yep. How much death benefit did that actually buy them? So it says that the policy coverage amount way back when it started was $4,000. $4,000, meaning that if this person passes away, the policy would pay out $4,000 to the family. Now, spoiler alert, the person's still alive. Right?
Yeah.
Person's still here. Policy is still active.
So it's active as of this summer. This is the statement from this summer, the annual statement.
That's right.
Yeah.
But again, if they would have passed away and all of those years up to this point, right, the $4,000 with the death benefit. Now, again, just like we're going to talk about cash value here, the death benefit also is going to increase and it's going to grow over time. But that's what it started at. Started at $4,000. Okay.
Right. So that reminds me of when we're looking at Monopoly. Monopoly is over 71 years old. Monopoly's got to be coming up on. You do a lot of gaming. How old is Monopoly? Like the game? It's like
that is a great question. It's really old. It's really old. It's not as old as Scrabble. Scrabble's older than Monopoly.
We did have that trivia one time recently,
but it is old. I'm not exactly sure.
In the game Monopoly, there's one of those community chess cards or chance, and it says life insurance matures. You remember?
Yep.
How much does it say?
$100.
Life insurance matures $100. So this guy is just killing it with $4,000 because this one is. I mean, in Monopoly, it's $100. Okay,
so that should tell you how often I played that. As soon as you said it, $100. I already knew that.
$100. No. Okay, so $4,000. So Jonah, if obviously this man is going to pass sooner or later. So we know Pops, who has this policy, is now old. At 71 years old. So I assume this man is at least 72 or so.
Yep.
Who knows? Our friend is probably in his 50s who showed us this. So the question is, what does it take to bury somebody these days? We haven't talked about it in a long time.
A little bit more than $4,000.
Yeah,
I think in our community, in our town, I think it's upwards of 10,000. I think it is 12 or 13 or something like that.
Okay.
Currently. So again, the death benefit needs to have increased over the last 71 years, or else 4,000 is not really going to cut it. It's not that much money these days, right?
I mean, it's going to pay for the family dinner afterward.
Sure.
Right.
But we should jump into maybe some of those figures on what it jumped up to. So started at 4,000 71 years ago. Now keep in mind, this is not a policy designed for banking.
Right.
This was an ordinary life policy that they got in 1951 that just so happened to still be open and active because the person hadn't passed away. So we wanted to take a look at some of the values and just show you what was going on.
Yes.
So it started at $4,000 for the death benefit.
So if it's going to grow, Jonah, we got to remind everybody that the dividends or paid up additions are pieces of this policy.
That's right.
Meaning that the death benefit can and will rise. So some of you out there have whole life, seen whole life, looked at whole life, and the death benefit is fixed. You may not realize that there's riders that are available, or if there's dividend paying policies, participating policies, that there's going to be dollars coming from the insurance company that potentially buy more death benefit for you.
That's right.
Okay. So I think some of you understand that, but many of you may not. In the policies we're talking about, normally on this channel, they are going to participate in one or both of those two things. Dividends paid to the policy owner to raise paid up additions of insurance, and or you just adding extra dollars as you wish.
That's right.
Okay. So because of that, the death benefit is higher.
That's right.
In this policy.
All right. Give the people what they want. What's the new death benefit 71 years down the road?
71 years down the road, the actual death benefit, it says right here, the current benefit available to your beneficiary, right? Beneficiary, friends, family, churches, or charities, whoever you want to leave the money to, is actually sitting today, this summer, at $32,100.
This is nuts. You ready for this? Started at 4.
Yes.
It's currently now at 32. I'm no good at math. I'm very bad without a calculator. But my calculator tells me that that is 800% of an increase from where they started at 4,000 to where they are now at 32.
That's not even actually. That's not a hard math equation to do.
It's not that hard. No.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Well, after I typed it in, I was like, oh, I could have.
Right.
I could have done
4
that.
to 32.
Yeah, I could have.
8.
I could have done that, but
yeah, literally times 8.
Isn't that nuts though?
Yes.
32,800% of an increase. Keep in mind, the premium in these policies are level. So the premium has not changed in 71 years. $4 a month. 4. Right? Like actively in September, October of 2022, the premium due is $4.06.
So here's my question, Jonah. Do you think that this man, sorry to this man, whoever it is, we don't actually know who it is.
Yep.
Do you think he pays it monthly, or do you think he goes ahead and pays all $48 annually?
Well, so it actually tells us how he pays it.
Okay.
It actually tells us how he pays it. So here's another thing that you were just mentioning. So inside this policy participates, which means he gets dividends.
Yes.
He gets dividends each and every year. His dividends have gotten so big that he uses the dividends to actually pay the $48 all year.
Yes.
He doesn't actually pay it out of pocket. And from what the numbers that I see, I bet he hasn't paid this out of pocket in 30 years.
At least.
Right?
Right.
He hadn't done it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But again, because of how the policy and whole life works, the numbers just keep increasing. So I think now it's time to talk about the fun stuff. Talk about the cash value here.
Oh, I was like the fun stuff. I was like Back to the Future,
No.
1 or 2.
But let's talk about the cash value. Okay. So first off, reminder that you're getting dividends, right? You're getting dividends. Let's talk about the dividends really quick. So dividends are not guaranteed. Right.
Right. So we've got a guaranteed growth rate inside your premium dollars, cup 1, red cup, as we always say. Dividends are not guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen. Not all companies pay dividends and all that. So you're going to want to look at a potential policy for yourself and your family that does participate, so these numbers can be effective in your family banking system.
That's right. Yeah. So dividends aren't guaranteed. They're just bonuses that they get. But this particular person, keep in mind the premium, $48 a year, $4 a month. The dividend in this year alone, just the bonus, was $641.28. The dividend was 350% higher than the premium cost.
Right. So, Jonah, I go live all the time. We all are here at the Banking Bros Cash Compound, but I'm talking to new potential clients, customers, folks who are exploring this idea. And I get on these live events, and so many people say dividends are crap. They're not good because they're actually a return of premium qualified by the IRS. And so it's paying you back for being overcharged. Now, that right there came straight from Dave Ramsey. That's how everybody says it.
That's
being
right.
Overcharged. Now, sorry to this man, he does have to pay somewhere $48.
So let's do the math. $48 times 71 years, right?
Correct. Okay.
Times
So if he paid it out of his pocket, this is what the premium had to be.
So in the last 71 years, he's paid $3,400.
Total to have this policy.
Total, right?
Yes.
$48 a year. 71 years, policy's been active. So total cost out of this man's pocket, $3,400.
If he paid it out of his pocket.
Which he didn't, as you already know. It says on the paper that he didn't. Yeah. But if he did, $3,400 out of pocket in 70 years, right?
Right.
We haven't, again, the kicker here is the cash value. We haven't even talked about the cash value yet. I'm excited to do that.
Right.
But a lot of people say that. So again, just as a reminder, the dividend in this year alone was $641. So what do we think it was last year? And what do we think it might be the next year, right?
Does that make sense? Last year was a couple dollars less. Next year will be a couple dollars more.
Right.
You understand that dividends, how we always talk about them, this is how I tell people, Jonah, is the dividends are based on what you've put in, $3,400, and how long the dollars have been there, how long you've been participating. So in the first year, he got dividends based on $48. In the second year, he got dividends based on 48 times 2. In the third year, he got dividends based on 48 times 3. That's why they're always going up. Everybody get that?
That's right.
It's how much you've given them, $3,400 at the insurance company. Second, how long you've been giving them those dollars.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's jump over to the cash value. Go ahead and tell everyone what the cash value is 71 years down the line. Now, he has not used any policy loans.
So it says right here, your policy has no loan against its value at this time. So this man has also potentially, and I assume based on the knowledge of this family, never taken any of these dollars out. Remember, cash value is the available pool of dollars to spend against the value of the total that you can use at any time for any reason. No credit check, no business plan, no payback schedule. This man's is the owner of this policy.
That's right.
Okay, so inside of this bad boy, okay, once again, let's remind everybody, because we've said a lot of words, how much has needed to pay for this policy in 71 years?
$3,400 in total, 71 years.
He has a cash value right now, this summer, of $28,300.
$28,300. So my calculator tells me that is 832% on the premium dollars that he had to put in out of pocket. Keep in mind, we already know he didn't put them in out of pocket. Isn't that nuts?
Right.
832%. $3,400 is what I put in. The cash value is $28,300. Can you imagine if instead of $4.06 a month that they decided to do double it, $8.12. Can you imagine what would happen if this man practiced banking, took the money out and repaid them?
No, I can't imagine.
It would be nuts. It's already nuts.
It's unqualifiable because we can't do math on what could have happened if he used it like that.
It's already nuts. And again, the reason that we are kind of can do the math and look at things is because the premium dollars were so small, $4, right?
Right.
$40. Imagine, there's so many things that I am going through my head going, oh man, I wish, right?
I wish I was 71. No, right.
But this is nuts. 832% on the premium dollars that he put in.
Right.
Available to him, ready to go at any point.
So, ladies and gentlemen, realize here that base policy payout was $4,000. When his great grandma, whoever, bought this for Junior, who's now 71 plus years old, it was $4,000. $4 a month, $4,000 will pay out, guaranteed, one day when this man passes. Over the course of that time, the participation of the dividends, we don't assume that this man ever put in extra dollars himself, just the participation of the dividends each year became $28,000 more dollars, which lifts the death benefit. You realize if he does not use the cash value, which he doesn't have to, which he hasn't apparently,
right?
It's $32,000 will pay out guaranteed to his beneficiaries. So all of those dollars are they work together. Understand that the 28,000 of paid up additions plus the 4 base equals the 32.
That's right.
A lot of folks don't understand how these dollars go together. So they fit together. So he can take all of these dollars out today as loans against his policy, and he'll still be getting new dividends higher than 641 next year.
That's right.
A lot of folks don't understand how all these work together, and it is kind of interesting, Jonah, because we're explaining this to people on such a small number, like it's probably easier to fathom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying, imagine if it was a big number. Imagine the policy that you're starting at $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month,
$20,000,
and then that makes it 71 years later, right? Come on, these numbers are. Numbers are huge.
Y'all playing. So many folks out there ask me, yes, what do I have to start with? How much do I have to pay? Have to pay? Lord of mercy, get the money in there.
That's right.
You guys understand what we're saying?
And again, I want to be very clear. This is a policy that was not designed or set up for banking use. This was a policy that was just whole life. This is what the power of whole life will do for you, even without banking. Add banking on top of that, which can you make your policy perform higher with higher values, make your policy perform faster to get those higher values faster. Like the world is your oyster, I guess, is the saying. These numbers can get.
If you're 71 years old, you'd say stuff like that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think Right? That's what they used to say in 51, right?
That's what,
maybe they're still saying that now.
Back in 51, yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember that what we're talking about here on this channel is cracking the code to cash flow. We're just talking about whole life insurance, its construction, and how it grows over time on this particular episode. But cash flow is really what it's about. So those dollars could and still can be used inside this man's policy. So we want you guys to know that. And remember, for more information about doing this process for yourself and having a customized family plan inside policy contracts for banking use and cash flow, we're here for you. So you can find us on all the channels as the Banking Bros, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Click the button for a free consultation, and let's start your journey today.